Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'll be showing you how I turn this knockoff clone trooper into my custom ARC trooper. I'm still new to this customizing game, so there may be some things that I will do that you think is not the best way, but this is just my own way of doing things, beginner level. So when you buy these knockoff clone troopers, they usually come with a few things: a blaster, a rifle, and a radio to go on their back here. Yeah, like that if you like, but it's pretty loose. So we're gonna use this for the rangefinder. I'm gonna put this aside and I'll show you how to turn that into a rangefinder later. For his chest plate, I'm using this air dry clay to just mold over the chest, and it usually dries overnight. And all you need is this much. Make sure it's evenly spread. I use some tools just so I don't get fingerprint marks on there. This part takes a lot of patience. You don't need to be skilled or talented. You just need to be patient. I'm also using clay to make the ammo packs on his chest and on his holsters. Here are the various ammo packs that I've produced from that ball of clay. To make his ARC Trooper legs or shin guards, I'll be using this 2mm masking tape from Tamiya. Here is the label, 2mm. And we're basically going to be wrapping it around the shins here. So this is what we're trying to achieve here with the masking tape. When you're doing this, make sure you have super clean fingers, because once dust gets on the tape, it's basically not adhesive anymore. And because these shins aren't perfectly cylindrical, they're like a cone shape, the challenge here is to keep the tape perfectly horizontal so they can meet here in the back. They're actually overlapping in different areas, that's why there's bumps, but who cares? No one can see that. For the pauldron, I used leatherette fabric to cut out these shapes. So the middle one is basically a square with a hole, and the sides are gonna be like a half hex. So when you're gluing this to your figure, put the glue on here. I find that super glue works best for this kind of fabric. So because we held it down while it was drying, it's gonna keep that shape forever. And this part's optional, but I used cardstock to make the patches just to have a bit of dimension when I paint it. For the kama, I've cut out 2 pieces of fabric that are 1 inch wide and 1.5 inch long. And for the holsters that hang around his waist, I used the same material I did for the pauldron. They're basically 2 straps of 2 1/4 inches long and around 3mm wide. To make the rangefinder, you take the radio that I showed you earlier, and we're gonna trim off this part here by that much, around 1/3, I think. We're also gonna trim off these parts that are protruding. Then cut the top part around halfway. And then you just sculpt it to look like a rangefinder. For paint, I'll be using these 3 colors from Vallejo. Unfortunately, I can't show you the paint process because I can't paint properly with the camera in between my eyes and my fingers.
Filoni has included in Star Wars Rebels and beyond. So Mr. McDonald states whether the sacred medicine wheel of the Native Americans like a solar system or the world between worlds altogether.
So I've done all the painting with Hasbro's Vintage Collection Echo as my guide, and you don't see this in the pictures, but in my Black Series Echo, these pouches are black, so I've blacked these out as well. And this is what I mean with the cardstock adding dimension to the pauldron. Here's an example of no cardstock added on. The belt is a separate piece from the waist, so you can sort of lift that and tuck the camas inside. I start from the back and work my way to the front. Here is the finished piece. I apologize if this video wasn't instructional enough, but I hope it somehow helps for those who don't have 3D printers to make an art kit. Only things missing here are the gun holsters and the backpack. Also, don't forget to seal the paint with varnish because acrylic can easily peel off and it isn't completely waterproof. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any suggestions, just drop it in the comments. I appreciate any suggestions.